Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Hey there.
Today we are unpacking 8 really high-level idioms, and they're derived directly from a SpeakDuo lesson. And quickly, before we get started, if you want to actually put these phrases into practice, go to SpeakDuo.com.
You really should.
It's the best place to meet new people from around the world for video calls, all to build real confidence in your English speaking abilities. So go check it out.
And I'm glad we're looking at this specific list. These aren't just vocabulary words.
Not at all.
They are, tools for navigating professional minefields. These are the phrases you use when things go wrong.
Exactly. When negotiations stall, or when you need to be diplomatically harsh. We're skipping the basics today. This is for advanced learners who need to manage tone.
Right. So let's start with a phrase that describes a very specific type of failure. To fall flat.
To fall flat. I like this one. It paints such a physical picture, doesn't it? Like a gymnast trying to stick a landing and just collapsing.
Totally. A very visual phrase. But in a professional context, it means, failing to get the reaction you hoped for. It's entirely about reception.
And that is the key distinction here. It's not just failing. If I'm coding and my program has a bug, it failed. It didn't fall flat. To fall flat, you absolutely need an audience. You need an expectation of applause or agreement that is just met with dead silence.
That silence is the defining feature. Imagine you're in a tense board meeting. You decide to break the ice with a joke. You expect a little chuckle, and you get nothing. Just blank stares. That joke didn't just fail, it fell flat. The source material has that exact scenario. I tried to lighten the mood with the joke, but it fell flat.
And that implies a lingering awkwardness that's actually, I think, worse than a technical error.
It really is. And for something like the IELTS exam, especially speaking part 2,
Oh, good point.
where you describe a time a plan went wrong, this is a goldmine. Don't just say, the presentation was boring.
Right, because boring is so passive.
Exactly. You could say, I poured my energy into the pitch, but my enthusiasm just fell flat with the investors. It shows you can read a room.
Okay, so let's pivot from a reaction that fails to an idea that, never even had a chance to begin with. Our next phrase is a non-starter.
A non-starter. This is brutal, efficient business language. I love it.
It really is. It refers to an idea or a plan that just cannot work from the very beginning.
And we have to be careful not to confuse this with just a bad idea. A bad idea is something we might discuss, for an hour before realizing it's wrong.
Right.
A non-starter. We don't even open the file. It's dead on arrival.
It's often used in logistics or negotiations. Let's say an agency proposes a timeline of 2 days for a huge project. You don't say, let's see if we can make that work.
No, you say, that timeline is a non-starter. It signals there is zero room for negotiation on that point. It just shuts down the conversation to save time.
The source material offers a great personal example, too, about habits. It mentions trying to study for 5 hours a day.
Which, let's be honest, is impossible for most people. The example says, my plan to study 5 hours a day was a non-starter, so I switched to 30 minutes daily.
So it wasn't just difficult, it was structurally impossible from the get-go.
Exactly.
So if you have an idea that isn't a non-starter, one that actually has potential, it then has to survive the next step. It has to pass muster.
To pass muster. This one feels very old world, doesn't it? It has that sort of military inspection vibe.
It does. It means to be good enough to be accepted or approved, but it implies a certain standard is being applied.
That's the nuance. It's not just about being okay. It's about surviving scrutiny. If you say something passes muster, you're acknowledging there's a gatekeeper.
A boss, an editor.
A drill sergeant. Someone checking the details.
So it's different than just meeting requirements. That feels like a checklist. Passing muster feels more like a judgment call.
Exactly. A copywriter might say, my first draft didn't pass muster with the senior editor. That implies it wasn't just a typo. The quality wasn't there.
And for an IELTS context, maybe describing your work ethic?
Oh, perfect. You could say, I always give my reports one final review to ensure they pass muster before I send them off. It shows you understand quality control.
Right. Now, speaking of choices, sometimes a proposal might pass muster, but you still don't want to do it. That's when you take a hard pass.
Taking a hard pass. This is one of my favorite modern idioms. It's so definitive.
It means to refuse something firmly, but it's much, much stronger than just saying no thanks.
So much stronger. Declining is polite. You decline a wedding invitation. You take a hard pass on something that sounds miserable or risky or just plain awful.
Zero hesitation.
None. It's a gut reaction. Like, do you want to come in on Sunday to audit filing cabinets?
Hard pass. Not even checking my calendar. The answer is no.
Exactly.
The source material connects this to work-life balance, which is a great application. Refusing an extra commitment because it would just destroy your schedule.
That's a very healthy way to use it. In an interview or an exam, you might say, I prioritize my health, so I would take a hard pass on any project that requires sacrificing sleep for weeks.
It shows you set boundaries.
Aggressively.
Now, what happens if you don't take that hard pass? You mess up, and it leaves a stain on your history. That's our next phrase, a black mark.
A black mark. Sounds ominous, and it should.
It refers to a negative event that damages a reputation or record.
But we have to distinguish this from just a simple mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. You forget an attachment on an email. That's not a black mark.
A black mark implies permanence. It's something that goes on your permanent record. It can affect future opportunities.
Right. It's all about trust. The source example talks about missing a critical deadline. That missed deadline felt like a black mark. It implies that even after the project was done, the manager remembered that failure. The trust was damaged.
So how do you fix a black mark?
You have to work twice as hard to scrub it off. So in a professional story for IELTS, you could say, I owned the error immediately and improved my process so it wouldn't become a permanent black mark on my career.
That shows you understand the long-term stakes. Okay, let's move to a phrase that describes just massive frustration for employees everywhere. To move the goalposts.
Ugh, I hate when this happens. It's the ultimate unfairness.
It means changing the rules or the expectations after someone has already started the task.
And the sports metaphor is perfect. Imagine you're kicking a soccer ball, it's going right into the net.
You're about to score.
And suddenly the opposing team just picks up the goal and moves it 10 yards to the left. You miss. It feels rigged against you.
It does, and it's different from just updating the plan.
Totally different. Plans change because of new data. That's fine. Moving the goalpost feels arbitrary, like it's done because of poor management.
The source example captures that frustration perfectly. I finished the task, but then the requirements changed. Someone moved the goalposts.
So if you're talking about handling stress at work for IELTS, this is a great one. When a client moves the goalposts, I stay calm and ask for the new scope in writing.
That is a very mature professional response. Now, when tension runs high, maybe because someone moved the goalposts, you might need to smooth over the situation.
To smooth over, the diplomat's tool.
It means to make a tense situation calmer and, well, less awkward.
But here's the warning label. Smoothing over is not the same thing as resolving.
Okay, how so?
Well, resolving a conflict means you dig out the root cause and you fix it. Smoothing over is like putting makeup on a bruise. It looks better for the party.
But the injury is still there.
Exactly. It's about social lubrication, not a structural repair.
That's a great analogy. The source example uses it in a social context, smoothing over an awkward moment by laughing and changing the topic.
Which is a valid social skill. For IELTS, if you're asked about social interactions, you could say, my go-to move to smooth over awkwardness is to shift the conversation to a shared interest.
It shows you value harmony. Okay, and finally, sometimes you can't smooth it over. Sometimes it is just a disaster. Our final phrase, a train wreck.
A train wreck. So evocative.
It's defined as something so badly done it's hard to watch, yet oddly compelling.
That compelling part is what separates a train wreck from just a disaster. A disaster is just sad. A train wreck is a spectacle. You want to cover your eyes, but you're peeking through your fingers.
Like a presentation where the mic screeches, the speaker drops their notes, and the slides are all upside down.
Exactly. Pure chaos. The source material mentions reviewing a colleague's draft privately. The first draft was a train wreck.
That's harsh.
But useful. The full quote is, it was a train wreck, but it showed me exactly what needed fixing.
For an IELTS description of an event, this adds so much color. I attended a seminar that was a total train wreck, but it taught me exactly what not to do when public speaking.
Yeah, it paints a picture of just total chaos.
All right, those are our 8 phrases. We've covered everything from falling flat to being a train wreck. Now, it's time to see if these stuck.
It is quiz time.
Okay, here's how this works. I'm going to read a question and 3 options. Option A, Option B, and Option C.
And I'll chime in and repeat the phrase we're testing just to kind of trigger your memory.
Then I'll give you a moment and I'll immediately give you the answer. Let's jump in. Question 1. What does it mean if a joke or performance falls flat? Is it Option A, it causes the audience to become unexpectedly aggressive? Option B, it fails completely to produce the intended positive reaction? Or Option C, it ends abruptly due to a technical failure on the stage?
Think about that silence. The awkwardness. The joke falls flat.
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer. The correct answer is Option B. It fails to produce the intended reaction. Remember that manager's joke in the meeting? No laughter. It fell flat. Question 2. Why would a proposal be described as a non-starter? Option A, because it has no chance of succeeding right from the beginning. Option B, because it requires a large initial investment to get started. Or Option C, because it is designed to be the final step in a long process.
Remember that 5-hour study plan? It was dead on arrival. It was a non-starter.
Feel free to pause if you need a moment. The answer is Option A. It has no chance of succeeding from the beginning. We don't even negotiate a non-starter. Okay, question 3. If a piece of work fails to pass muster, what is the result? Is it Option A, it is considered acceptable but requires minor revisions? Option B, it is rejected because it does not meet the required standard? Or Option C, it is praised highly for exceeding all original expectations?
Imagine that military inspection, that strict editor. Did your work pass muster?
Pause here if you like. The answer is Option B. It is rejected because it does not meet the standard. If it doesn't pass muster, it doesn't get approved. Question 4. What action are you taking when you take a hard pass on an offer? Option A. You are firmly and decisively refusing the opportunity presented. Option B. You are accepting the offer reluctantly due to lack of options. Or Option C. You are passing the offer to someone else who is more qualified.
Remember working for free on a Sunday? You take a hard pass. Is there any hesitation?
Feel free to pause. The answer is Option A. You are firmly and decisively refusing. No guilt, just a hard pass. Question 5. What does it mean if something leaves a black mark on your record? Option A. It is a negative event that damages your reputation permanently. Option B. It is a physical stain caused by using permanent ink on paper. Or Option C. It is a secret code used to identify high-priority files.
Think about that missed deadline, the stain on your career, that black mark.
Pause if you need to. The answer is Option A. It's a negative event that damages your reputation. It's the mistake that people remember. Number 6. If someone is accused of moving the goalposts, what have they done? Option A. They have unfairly changed the rules or expectations mid-process. Option B. They have physically relocated the equipment to a new field. Or Option C. They have helped the team achieve their targets faster than planned.
Remember, the game is rigged. You finish the task, but then they moved the goalposts.
Feel free to pause here. The answer is Option A. They unfairly changed the rules mid-process. It's all about frustration and unfairness. Question 7. How do you behave when you try to smooth over a conflict? Option A. You ignore the problem completely until it disappears on its own. Option B. You make the situation calmer and less tense through diplomacy. Or Option C. You aggressively confront the other party to force a resolution.
You want to fix the vibe at the party. You want to smooth over that awkwardness.
Pause now if you need to think. The answer is Option B. You make the situation calmer through diplomacy. Just remember, you're not always fixing the root cause. And our final question, number 8. What is implied when an event is described as a train wreck?
Option A, it was a chaotic disaster that was fascinating to watch unfold. Option B, it was a minor accident involving public transportation vehicles. Or option C, it was a highly organized event that proceeded exactly as planned.
The slides are upside down, the speaker is panicking, it's a train wreck. Can you look away?
Feel free to pause. The answer is option A. It was a chaotic disaster that was fascinating to watch.
Well, there you have it. Hopefully your performance on that quiz didn't, fall flat.
I'm sure everyone passed muster. Just a quick recap of our 8 phrases. Fall flat, non-starter, pass muster, hard pass, black mark, move goalposts, smooth over, and train wreck.
These are really powerful additions to your vocabulary. Use them wisely, and you'll sound much more authoritative in your next meeting.
Absolutely. And remember, for real conversation practice, head over to SpeakDuo.com. Thanks for listening to this critique, and we will see you next time.
Bye for now.